Okay, so Ascent is it's a brand I started around 4.5 years ago, coming to 5 actually. And the vision of Ascent is to deliver cutting-edge bicycle technology to the global cycling community through passion and rider-focused innovation.
So taking a seat at this very nice playground, so I'm gonna be going over to Ascentbikes Aeroo Handlebar launch, which is over at very near my house actually. And we are going over to the handlebar launch because it is supposedly one of the more aero handlebars in the market right now. And I mean, a homegrown brand growing out into different markets such as the European market, the US market. It's very nice to know what kind of products that they're actually launching, and I think it's nice to know that we can actually go and view the product launch. So let's go over, see what the Aeroo Bar is about, and maybe some of you might be interested to go and actually purchase the Aero handlebars. Watch this video, maybe you'll know more about the insights of it, and let's see if we can get QX, which is the Ascent owner, and ask him what the design of the Aero handlebar is about and what did he think of it when he made it. Let's go and take a look. So we're currently at the place right now. We're going over up to level 3, which is the area where QX is actually hosting his Ascent bike event thing. So yes, let's go up and take a look. Nobody lah sia. Maybe it's in here. Hello. These are the Polaris 56 wheels that they actually launched a few months back, and I'm sure many people would have known about their 42mm and their 69mm. I mean, having a middle ground wheel which is the 56 is also super nice. Now for the main thing, which is the AEROO handlebars. Now it's said to be one of the more aero handlebars in the current racing scene in Europe, because they have actually sent the bars to testing over there in different teams, and they have also sent the bars for wind tunnel testing. I mean, first look at the bar, it's super nice. There's a little kangaroo over there or whatever the animal is, and I think the bars look super slick. Even with this simple FSA stamp, it also looks very nice. This is actually my first look at the Polaris 56. I mean, QX has been raving to me about how nice the wheels is, and I have personally tried the 69s. Now if you're interested to see how I feel about the 69mm, you can go and check one of the videos which I will link at the top right corner or even in the description box. So after taking a look at the handlebar, I mean, the handlebar has a really nice design, and it actually curves in, so it kind of plays around the UCI regulations of not being able to curve in your levers. So I think that's a very nice little detail for some people who are actually looking for the marginal aero gains. And there are always these kind of little design interesting things that you can, I mean, I don't know how to phrase it, but those little interesting designs that are actually always coming out in the market. And I mean, Ascent has done it, which is to create something that kind of loopholes the UCI regulation thing. So bright. While they are introducing the AEROO handlebars, they also work with Unpass, which is actually a wet wipes that you can use for all you lazy people out there who just don't really like to wash your bikes. Just wiping it and using a microfiber towel to buff off the wipe would actually make your bike super clean and super shiny. That's why this kid wants to get up.
So getting a good piece of equipment that's actually built on your body was one of the biggest things that Ascent had for the bars. And as you can see, it's also UCI legal, so it's being raced in France in the professional pro peloton at the moment, and in Belgium too, and those guys absolutely love it. Looking at the numbers, I got a 40-second personal best over 16 kilometers, so pretty damn good. Very comfortable, beat a lot of TT bikes. Definitely the fastest 40 km TT I've done on a road bike, and that was just a few weeks ago when the bars were sent to him.
One of the key figures is that versus a 42 centimeter handlebar, over a 40-kilometer course at 300 watts. The Aeroo actually saves over 100 seconds while in the hood's position. And if you tuck in as it's meant to be, you'll save over 234 seconds versus a round handlebar.
Rather than boring you guys with all the technical details of the handlebar and the wind testing of the handlebar, it's actually on their website, and the research details I will also put it in the description box. So if you guys are interested to go and take a look, go ahead and look it out.
You ask the question.
My name is Michael. Just a quick question. Does it work with integrated bars or stems?
Okay, so we designed this as a separate bar stem because what we realized is that the angle of the handlebar is truly important, and an integrated bar doesn't give you that level of flexibility in tweaking like 1 or 2 degrees. However, you can see the bike here, there are no cables sticking out of it as well. And if you run it with a compatible stem, like an FSA or whatever other brand stem, you can actually run it fully internal. Cool.
Can you just run through, like, for example, why you went to the reverse sweep or why you angled down the bars?
Alright, so every part of this bar was designed with human factors in mind. So the reverse sweep actually serves 2 purposes. One of them is to provide support, and 2, it is to allow you to hold your hands at a more natural angle while you're riding on the tops. So if you're riding the straight bar and you're riding on the tops, you're going to have your elbows sticking out. It's going to be quite hard for you to rotate your elbows in. So this back sweep and down sweep actually allows you to rotate your elbows inward and keep a more like aerodynamic position even when you're on the tops. Okay, so the bars weigh 240 to 250 grams. We have 2 variants. One of them is the short reach, 65 millimeter reach, that's 240 grams, and the long reach is an 80 mil reach, and that's 250 grams. So why do the bars flare out? And they flare out because you want to get a bit more stability in the drops. So I think something that you guys might have realized also is that while bars not only flare out, they actually tilt inward first before flaring out. And I think we are one of the only bars in the market that do that, because what that allows us to do is to have a much more natural arm angle versus a narrow bar which is straight. So this actually helps you with your breathing, and it gives you, it helps you with your breathing, and it's a much more natural hand angle. So one of the things that our riders have mentioned is that they feel a lot more stable, a lot more confident, and they take corners faster with our bars. So one of them even he's taking corners around 2.5 km per hour faster, and he attributes it to the support that he's getting.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
After the unveiling of the handlebars, we as guests are allowed to go onto the stands just to go and see how the handlebars are like. Personally, I think that this is not a very good representation of how the bars would feel on the bike, but there was a demo bike that was at the stage that we could actually go and try, and I think that's a better representation of having the feel of the handlebar. Now, a lot of people were a bit concerned that the handlebars were a bit too narrow, especially for bigger guys like me, and when I actually held it, I think it was actually quite nice. It was very in line with my shoulders, even though I was complaining that it was a bit too small when I first held it. Many of us had the same thought that it would just feel very different on a bike when we are on a saddle. So a lot of us went over to the demo bike just to see how it would feel in our hands on the saddle, and it definitely felt a lot different than on the stand. But in a good way, it's definitely more comfy.
Hi, so you bought the Ascent bar?
Yeah, I bought the Ascent short reach bar. Got it for about the special price for today, attending the event. Yeah.
So why did you decide to buy the bar?
I decided to get the bar because originally my stem and my handlebar at home is still made of aluminium, and I personally find the reach too long and then it's too wide as well. So I had a previous back injury, so to better cater to my needs and avoid spending more money on changing the stem, going for more fits, I also decided that hey, maybe it's good that I get the bar, because as you can see the bar, Like actually, for the short reach one, actually I have to increase the stem length by 20 mm. But for mine, the stem is too long by 20 mm, so it's actually a perfect fit for me.
So it kind of like offsets the 20 mm thing.
Yes,
lah,
it kind
actually.
of offsets and it kind of sold me on the product.
So if let's say you didn't come today, would you have gotten the handlebar? Or have you already been eyeing on it for a while, that's why you got the handlebar?
I've already been eyeing it since Xiang showed me the 3D design, the 3D printed design of the product. I thought that it looked really cool, it looked really interesting. And when I had the chance to try it for myself at the booth in front, I think that it sold me.
So
It got my angels and devils fighting.
Solid.
Although I feel that for those running integrated handlebars, it will definitely be a bit of a commitment and a bit more hassle to get these bars onto your bike if you really want it. But for anybody running a standard 2-piece handlebar, I personally think it's worth it because it is super comfortable and it's all about the rider and the rider's position. So that is already a plus point.
The whole Polaris series is designed for the rider experience. We believe that confidence is really important in the riding process. Being fast is one thing, but if you're not confident, then it's never going to be as fast as you want it to be. So the way we design our wheels for that, especially for the Polaris series, is to make them really stable, make them corner well, make them behave well even in bad conditions. And this way, the rider has to push themselves and go faster.
So talking about your handlebars, you guys have a handlebar which is a one size fits all kind of thing. It's only one size.
Okay, there are two sizes, but not in the way that you would consider a size in terms of width. Ours have two different reach. So one of them is 65mm and the other one is 80mm. And these are for riders who either want to keep the stem the same or don't mind having a longer stem.
So why not go a wider width in terms of handlebar?
So this was designed to be fast and aero. And going any wider directly makes you have more drag. So I understand that this might not be for everybody, but it is still a bar that gives you a lot of comfort when you're in an aero tuck position. So if you're commuting, maybe you might not need it, but for people who want to go fast and want to have the most performance possible and at a sustainable amount of comfort, then this is actually what you should go for.
So according to your slides, you said that it is exponentially better at 40 km for 300 watts. Do you feel that they'll also get this exponential gain at a lower wattage, let's say for a normal human being, like 200 watts for, let's say, 30-40K? Do you feel that this will also benefit them?
Okay, so for 200 watt output, you're looking at so this is using the CDA figures or the coefficient of drag and area figures that we did in our testing. So directly transplanting it from 300 watts to 200 watts, you're looking at a difference from between 30.5 km per hour to about 32.7, just from the bars alone. And if you talk about time savings, actually it's more. You save more seconds per kilometer compared to a 40 km per hour rider. The fact is, come and give it a try. You'll see that it helps you to really tuck in a lot more comfortably than a normal bar would. And you'll experience the benefits the moment you're on the road. Your first ride, you'll feel it already.
Do you have anything else to say about the handlebars or any of the product lines that you all have?
Yes, Marco, you should buy one. Like right now.
I can't really buy one, but because the thing is, you always have. Okay, so the next question is integrated handlebars. With the integrated handlebars, with the spacers and everything, it is a very huge commitment to get the handlebars. So, do you think that is there a very big issue, or is there anything that you can help for, let's say, spacer-wise, just to integrate with any other stem?
Okay, so right now because it's a separate bar and stem combo, you can use a FSA spacer kit. For example, we use FSA stems in our titanium bikes. You can actually use a FSA spacer kit and put it with your headset, and that will give you the full integration. So as long as your headset bearing is the right size, which is around 1.5 inches, industry standard, then actually you can put a FSA headset, FSA stem, and you can get full internal routing that way.
After the entire presentation about the AEROO handlebars, I mean, there are some things that I feel that it's a bit hard to justify for, because like if let's say I run an integrated stem and handlebar, although I can change the integrated stem and handlebar to get the AEROO handlebar, honestly, it's a very huge commitment and a very big hassle just for me to go and change it. But that doesn't mean that the bars are not good though, because if we're just talking about the bars alone, I think the bars are super comfy. I think the bars is nice because it's actually ergonomically swept back. So although it gets some used to because you can't really hold it straight anymore, you gotta hold it at an angle when you hold the tops. I think it's still okay because even for me when I'm running a 40 cm bar, going to a bar that's about 30 definitely felt a bit smaller, but if you were to look at it like face front, it's actually okay. So I was quite surprised about that. And what I'm more surprised is it kind of forces you into a position where it's super aero, but it's also like extremely comfortable. And one of the ways that they tried to describe how the bars will work was very, in my head it kind of works and it looks logical. So essentially what it means is if you were to raise your hands up, right, your hands are already naturally in this position, and the normal handlebars actually gets your hand like this and not like this. So what the AEROO handlebar does is it kind of gets your head this way, so you are in this natural like hands out motion, which is a very nice thing because it kind of works around how the human body works, and I think that's very important. So maybe that's why it's super comfortable, but I don't know. So for those people who have bought it at the event have already gotten back to me to say that the bars are super comfortable. Although it took a while to get used to it, but it is still extremely comfortable. Now I don't have it, but I would love to try it on a bike that has it.